Hey Badgers fans, welcome in. I'm Jesse Temple with Badger Connect, and I'm joined by Colton Joseph. Colton, thanks so much for your time.
Of course, yeah, thank you.
Well, it's been a whirlwind for you the last couple days. I'm sure you're still trying to figure out where everything is, but what are your initial impressions of this place?
It's been really exciting. You know, all the coaches, all the staff, everyone's been great, you know, over the top. So that's really, you know, warming and feels welcoming. The campus is awesome. You know, it's a little cold for me right now, but we can get over that. But campus looks great. Madison's awesome, and all these facilities are really nice. So I'm excited.
Well, Colton, when you chose to move on from Old Dominion, you certainly had a lot of options and opportunities. Ultimately, what appealed to you about Wisconsin and this football program?
I think the opportunity I could have to come in and make an immediate impact is one of the biggest things. Also, the just talking with the coaching staff and what they could do with me and you know what kind of offense they run. You know, they already have a great defense, so I think the opportunity I could grow here and be a part of. I think the potential is there, and that's what I'm excited for. Excited to, you know, work super hard. You know, really outwork anyone I could imagine competing against, or just anyone around the facility. You know, I want to be the first one there, last one to leave, and I want to be the guy that can lead a team to victory and just, you know, have fun while I'm doing it.
Quarterbacks do have to be natural leaders. How have you tried to develop that skill set, or has it just been sort of an innate quality within you?
Yeah, you know, past couple of years I've had to develop it a little bit. You know, when I was young, I wasn't, you know, a big talkative guy or super, just a little more shy when I was younger. But I think I've definitely grown into the role, and you know, it's just a thing that you can pick up on, and it doesn't take a whole lot. You know, it's just doing the right things. You know, not only being a vocal leader, but being a leader by example. And you know, I think I've just grown into that role the past couple of years, and it's been good for me.
When you've had an opportunity to talk to the coaches, Coach Fickle, Coach Guyton, and Coach Grimes, what has their message been about why they feel like you're a good fit for this offense?
Yeah, well, my versatility, I feel like, is a big issue for defenses, and I think they saw that in me, you know, being able to pass and run, and also be able to have, you know, a clutch third down, you know, that you need to move the drive and all that. I think that's what the coaches saw in me. They saw a potential for me to grow and develop in this offense, and, you know, to be something great and to help, you know, lead the Badgers to victory, Big Ten championship, and even playoffs.
When you studied a Jeff Grimes offense, what stood out to you, and why did you want to be a part of that?
I think his offense is great because it's very multi-dimensional. He's not going to do one thing, and he's going to be versatile. He's going to have, you know, an open mind and be creative with his plays. Where, you know, I think we can. His mind and my skill set, I think, together could be very scary out there on the field for some defenses, and I think it'll be awesome for me to pick his brain apart and for him to pick mine apart. I think that's going to be, you know, very exciting to watch.
Did you look at what he did with some of his past quarterbacks at previous stops, and what appealed to you about those players and their development? Yeah,
I think the biggest example is Zach Wilson at BYU. That offense, and with Grimes there, and he took Zach Wilson, you know, who's already a great player, he still is, but I think he really excelled his skill sets and made him into the player he was, and I think that's something I could do as well, and, you know, I'm just excited to see what Coach Grimes and Coach Guyton can do for me to help grow my skill set and what I can do on the field.
You passed for more than 2,000 yards, ran for more than 1,000 yards last season. How do you develop a skill set like that, and how do you think that will translate to Wisconsin?
One, got to thank the parents for having me. You know, it's one of its genes, but also you could have talent but not work very hard, and that kind of, you can see that in players who don't turn out as well. And then there's kids who don't have much talent but are the hardest working kids out there, and they succeed. So I think I was blessed to have the talent I have, but I also, am one of the hardest workers I know, and I'll do whatever it takes to get the job done and to grow my skills and to be the best player I can be.
Now, Wisconsin is obviously coming off a tough season offensively. When you were evaluating this program, what stood out to you and what convinced you that it's going to be different here this season?
I just think there's a couple missing pieces last year that, just impacted. It takes all 22 players, offense and defense, even special teams, to win games, and they're missing a couple pieces, but I think the right coaches and they were on the right path. With me coming in and some other pieces, and with all the hard work that we'll put in, I think there's a lot of potential. Just kind of how when Fernando Mendoza went to Indiana and Kurt Signetti and all them, I think that could be something that happens here, and I'm excited to get to work with that.
Your high school journey is pretty interesting, and what led you to Old Dominion. You played ball your senior year in Newport, right?
Yep.
Newport Beach. Can you take me through your recruiting journey and how it is that you ended up at Old Dominion?
Yeah, so I started my junior year in high school, the first 5 games, and I ended up having an injury that stopped me from playing the rest of that year. And then, so it wasn't a whole lot recruited then, just because I didn't have a whole lot of film yet. And then, so I really blew up my senior year. That's when I, just really grew as a player and played all 12 games and, plus the playoffs. And then it's kind of a little hard to get recruited just because of, I was just a little late to the whole thing. I had about 5 or 6 offers, and Old Dominion stood out just because it was one of the bigger opportunities I had to get in and play earlier than the other schools. And so I took that opportunity, and pretty under-recruited out of high school, and that was one of the biggest ones I had. So I took it and never looked back, and that's what got me here today.
Has your path created a bit of a chip on your shoulder to continually feel like you want to prove yourself?
Yeah, 100%. Moving around early in my life, just moving house to house, always kind of been on the move, and even transferred high schools, and all that kind of helped me stay passionate and helped me work harder than others to be able to put myself in the position I am. And that's kind of always built my toughness and shows how I play on the field. As underdog mentality is what I kind of have, and that's ultimately been able to put me where I am today, and excited to keep that going.
Obviously, being a part of this program early in the portal process is very important for Wisconsin. How valuable do you think this is to then perhaps kickstart bringing some players with you here and creating something special in 2026?
Yeah, I think QB is the one position that a lot of other positions are waiting on to see, who the guy is. And so, me coming in early is a big piece that other recruits may want to see, and I could even help with that process, and it'll be good to help other recruits.
Last question for you. Off-season workouts start very soon here. It's going to be a whole new team. What are you most excited for about your journey at Wisconsin?
Excited to get with my new teammates and build bonds and just have guys to call my brothers and teammates and friends that, that's a special bond that's hard to lose, and it's good to have forever. And I'm excited to really be a part of this team and be a part of the program.
Colton, thanks so much again for your time.
Awesome. Appreciate you.
Looking forward to seeing you this season.
Awesome.
And thanks to all of you for watching.